Welcome to our webinar on the fascinating world of Web 3.0, where we explore the future of Internet and how it poised to revolutionize our digital lives. So, whether you are a tech enthusiast or simply curious about the evolving online landscape, you are in for an eye-opening discussion. In this webinar, we will explain you the concept of Web 3.0, its basic elements, and the groundbreaking technologies that support it. We'll explore the role of blockchain technology and take a close look over at decentralized applications which give users more control over their data and experiences. But that's not all. Get ready to explore the metaverse, a virtual reality world where the line between real and digital world blurs. It offers an endless opportunities, immersive social interaction, gaming, and even virtual commerce. We will dive into the metaverse potential and explore how it connects with Web 3.0, and while speaking with the connections, we can't forget about the rise of non-fungible metal tokens. We will explain these unique digital assets that have taken the world by storm, enabling creators to monetize their digital content and collectors to collect their exclusive and verifiable pieces of digital realm. Of course, cryptocurrencies plays vital role in Web 3.0 as well. So we will discuss how these digital currencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum are powering the decentralized economy, facilitating peer-to-peer transaction and igniting innovation across the digital landscape. So, buckle up as we embark on this journey into the future of Internet. By the end of this conversation, you will have a clear understanding of Web 3.0's potential, its impact on various industries, and the exciting possibilities that lie ahead. Get ready to unlock doors to a whole new digital frontier. Also, feel free to ask any question regarding this webinar. We have our expert panel sitting to answer your questions in the comment section below. To walk us through this webinar, I'm excited to invite Mr. Aftab Pangarkar.
Thank you so much for having me here.
So my understanding of Web 3.0 is a bit fuzzy. Could you please help me and our viewers to grasp the concept, like what exactly is Web 3.0?
Absolutely. Web 3.0 is an exciting evolution of Internet that aims to empower users and redefine the way we interact with the platforms. It's all about moving away from the centralized model where big companies control our data and online experiences. Instead, Web 3.0 promotes three things: decentralization, privacy, and empowerment. In simpler terms, imagine a more user-centric internet where you have more control over your personal information, where you can trust the platform that you use and you're not just a passive user, instead an active participant of the digital ecosystem. Web 3.0 aims to create a more open, transparent, and collaborative environment where users have more say and ownership over their data. It's an exciting vision for the internet for sure.
I'm sure some of our viewers may be wondering, like current web is functioning well, then why do we need a newer version? Like what is the need of Web 3.0?
That's a great question. While the current web, which is often referred to as Web 2.0, has undoubtedly given us many benefits, but it has some limitations as well. Web 2.0 is largely built on centralized platforms and controlled by a few dominant entities. This means that our data is often collected, stored, and monetized by these companies, and we don't have a lot say on our part. Web 3.0 addresses these issues and aims to provide a more user-centric and decentralized internet experience. It emphasizes on principles like privacy, security, and user empowerment. By leveraging blockchain technology and decentralized networks, Web 3.0 enables us to have a more control over our data, ensures greater transparency in all our transactions, and encourages peer-to-peer interactions without any intermediate connections, like big giants, to be very honest about it. Furthermore, Web 3.0 opens up new possibilities for innovation and creativity. It introduces concepts like metaverse, right, where virtual reality meets the real world and they both collide together, enabling immersive experiences and entirely new ways of running businesses, socializing, and gaming. So, while the current web is good on its part, Web 3.0 brings in a more inclusive, secure, and user-centered internet version.
That's great, Aftab. As you mentioned about Web 2.0 and 3.0 also, so I'm curious about to know that if there was a previous version of web as well, like could you take us on a journey through the history of web and explain the different versions?
Absolutely. The evolution of web indeed has been an interesting journey. Let's take a trip down the lane, okay? In the early 1990s, we had Web 1.0, or as we know, the web. During this phase, web primarily consisted of static websites. Consider it like a magazine where the users can only read through the content but cannot interact to it.
Okay.
Yeah. Then, as we moved down the lane around 2000 or so, Web 2.0 came up, which introduced interactivity, right? That gave us rise to social media platforms, blogging, e commerce, and the internet that we see as of now. Web 2.0 was primarily focused on bringing in collaboration, user interaction, and so on. Now, we find ourselves at the cusp of Web 3.0, the next phase of the web's evolution. Web 3.0 is all about decentralization, privacy, and empowering the users because it was all not present in the previous versions. It leverages new technologies like blockchain, smart contracts, and decentralized applications to create a more open, transparent, and a user centric version of the internet. To sum it up, Web 1.0 is a read only internet. Web 2.0 introduced interactivity and e commerce at a huge scale, and Web 3.0 is trying to bring in privacy, security, and giving back users the control they wish to have over the internet.
That's outstanding, Aftab. That was an interesting journey. I'm sure many of our viewers are curious about the need of Web 3.0. Can't we just make an adjustment within the existing web version? Why do we need a whole new version?
That's a valid question. While it may seem we could simply make some adjustment into the current version of the web, Web 3.0 comes up with a whole lot of new fundamentals and technologies that are in need. Firstly, the current web has some limitations. It relies heavily on the centralized platforms and companies that control, collect.
That was interesting. Now that we understand the need of Web 3.0, let's delve into its components. What are the building blocks that make up Web 3.0?
Great question. Web 3.0 is made up of few important components that work together to make a decentralized and a user-centric version of the internet. The components are blockchain, decentralized apps or DApps, smart contracts, decentralized identity, interoperability, and semantic web.
Now let's move on to smart contracts, another important component of Web 3.0. Can you explain what smart contracts are in simple terms?
Absolutely. Let's break it down using a simple example. Imagine you and your friend, Sarah, want to keep track of a shared record like a list of gifts you both plan to buy for a mutual friend's birthday. Instead of relying on a single paper that you both have to trust, you decide to use a blockchain. In this blockchain scenario, everyone in your friend group has a copy of the same digital list and they all agree to follow the same rules. Whenever someone wants to add a gift to the list, they announce it to everyone. Then each person in the group verifies the addition and adds it to their own copy of the list. Now, let's say Sarah wants to cheat and add a gift that she didn't actually contribute. Since everyone has a copy of the list and they are all verifying the additions, they would quickly notice that Sarah's addition doesn't match their own records. They would reject a dishonest entry, keeping the list accurate and trustworthy. So, in simple terms, blockchain is like a shared digital ledger where multiple people keep copies of the same information, verify transactions, and add them to the chain. It ensures trust, security, and transparency by removing the need of a central authority and relying on collective agreement and verification of the participants.
That's great. Blockchain seems to be an important component of Web 3.0, but it sounds like a complex concept. Can you explain it in a simple term that our viewers can understand? Like maybe using some example scenario?
Of course, let's break it down into simpler terms. Imagine you and your friends love playing a virtual pet game on your smartphones. The game is currently hosted on a centralized server, meaning the game's company controls everything, including the virtual pets and the in-game currency. Now, let's say a developer creates a decentralized version of the game for Web 3.0. In this application, the game runs on a blockchain network and everyone who plays becomes a part of the network. Instead of the company having the full control, decisions about the game rules and updates are made collectively by the players through voting mechanisms. Here's how it works. When you start playing the D-app game, you create a digital wallet that holds your in-game currency and items. Since the game is decentralized, your wallet is stored securely on the blockchain network rather than a company's server. This gives you full ownership and control over your digital assets. Now, let's say you want to buy a rare item for your virtual pet. Instead of purchasing it from a centralized store owned by the game's company, you can buy it directly from another player in a peer-to-peer manner. The transaction is facilitated by smart contracts, which automatically ensures that the item is transferred to your digital wallet and your payment is securely sent to the sender. In this D-app scenario, the game becomes more inclusive and player-driven. Players have the ownership of their in-game assets, can trade with others directly, and even participate in the decision-making process of the game's development. The D-app ensures transparency, fairness, and removes the need for a centralized authority to control the game.
Now, let's move on to smart contracts, another important component of Web 3.0. Can you explain what smart contracts are in simple terms?
Absolutely. Let's break it down using a simple example. Imagine you are planning to sell your bicycle to a friend, Emily. Usually, you would draft a traditional paper contract outlining the terms and conditions of the sale. However, with smart contracts, you can automate this process and make it more secure. In our smart contract scenario, you and Emily would use a blockchain-based platform to create a digital contract. This contract is called a smart contract because it has built-in intelligence that automatically executes predefined actions when certain conditions are met. First, you and Emily would define the terms of the contract, such as the sale price, the condition of the bicycle, and the deadline for the payment. Once the contract is agreed upon, it is encoded on the blockchain network. Now, let's say the contract states that Emily will transfer the payment to you by a specific date. The smart contract will monitor the blockchain network and automatically check if the payment has been made within the agreed upon time frame. If Emily makes the payment on time, the smart contract will recognize this and execute the next action, which could be transferring the ownership of the bicycle to Emily's digital wallet and releasing the funds to you. This happens automatically and without the need for any intermediaries. However, let's say Emily fails to make the payment by the deadline. In that case, the smart contract will recognize the breach of the agreement and can trigger predefined actions such as cancelling the sale and refunding any previous payments made. In this scenario, smart contracts provide transparency, security, and automation to the contractual process. They eliminate the need for intermediaries like lawyers or escrow services, as the contract's terms are self-executing and enforceable through the blockchain. So, in simple terms, smart contracts are digital contracts encoded on a blockchain that automatically execute predefined actions when specific conditions are met. They provide transparency, security, and automation to various types of agreements, making the process more efficient and trustworthy.
Thank you for explaining smart contracts so clearly. Now, let's move on to decentralized identity, another key component of Web 3.0. Can you explain what decentralized identity means in simple terms?
Absolutely. So again, let's get to decentralized identity using a simple example. Imagine you want to prove your age to enter a club. Traditionally, you would present your physical ID, such as a driver's license, to the bouncer. However, with decentralized identity, the process can become more secure and privacy enhancing. In this decentralized identity scenario, you would have a digital identity stored on a blockchain network. This digital identity consists of verifiable information about you, such as your name, date of birth, and other relevant details. Instead of relying on a central authority or company to verify and store your identity, the blockchain ensures the integrity and security of your information. Now, let's say you want to prove your age to the bouncer at the club. Rather than handing over your physical ID, you can use your digital identity. You would present a digital proof generated by your digital identity on the blockchain, which confirms that you are above legal age to enter. The bouncer, equipped with a device or application that can verify digital proofs, can instantly validate the authenticity of your proof without needing to see your actual personal information. This verification process is done using cryptographic techniques, ensuring the privacy and security of your data. In this decentralized identity scenario, you have control over your personal information as it is stored securely on the blockchain and can be selectively shared when needed. You don't need to rely on centralized entities to vouch for your identity, reducing the risk of identity theft or misuse of personal data. In simple terms, decentralized identity means having a digital identity stored on a secure blockchain network, allowing individuals to control and selectively share their personal information. It enhances privacy, security, and reduces reliance on centralized authorities for identity verification.
Thank you for explaining it. Now, let's move on to another component of Web 3.0, that is interoperability. Can you explain it?
Sure. Let's get into interoperability again using a simple example. Imagine you have different messaging apps on your phone, such as WhatsApp, Telegram, and Signal. Each of these apps allows you to communicate with your friends, but they don't communicate with each other directly. This is lack of interoperability means you can only message someone who is using the same app as you. Now, let's imagine a Web 3.0 scenario where these messaging apps are interoperable. In this case, regardless of the app your friend is using, you can send messages to them seamlessly, and they can receive and reply to your messages no matter which app they are using. This interoperability makes communication much more convenient and inclusive. Interoperability in Web 3.0 works similarly. It refers to the ability of different blockchain networks, platforms, and applications to communicate and interact with each other smoothly. It breaks down the barriers between different systems, allowing for seamless data exchange, asset transfer, and collaborations. For example, let's say you have a digital artwork stored on the blockchain platform, and your friend has a digital wallet on a different blockchain platform. Without interoperability, it would be challenging to transfer the artwork to your friend's wallet, as the two platforms may not directly communicate. However, with interoperability, you can initiate a cross-chain transaction, enabling the secure transfer of the artwork from one platform to another. This means that different blockchain networks can talk to each other and understand the instructions for transferring assets or data. Interoperability is crucial for the growth and adoption of Web 3.0. It allows users to access a wider range of services, facilitates the exchange of assets across different platforms, and encourages the collaboration between diverse blockchain projects. In short, interoperability means enabling different blockchain network, platforms, or applications to work together seamlessly. It ensures that they can communicate, exchange data, and facilitate transactions across boundaries, making the overall Web 3.0 ecosystem more interconnected and user-friendly.
Now, let's move on to another concept, that is Semantic Web. Can you explain us what is Semantic Web means in simple terms?
Sure. Semantic Web is quite interesting. Let's again go to an example to understand more about it. Imagine you're planning a trip to a new city and you want to find the best restaurants. In a traditional web, you would search for keywords like restaurants in city X and get a list of results. However, with the semantic web, the experience becomes more intelligent and personalized. In this semantic web scenario, the information on the web is structured and organized in a way that computers can understand. Instead of relying solely on keywords, the web contains additional metadata that adds meaning to the data. This metadata helps computers understand the context, relationships, and specific details of the information. Now, let's say you search for restaurants in city X on the semantic web. Instead of just a list of results, the search engine can provide more relevant and personalized information. It can take into account your dietary preferences, budget, location, and even previous restaurant reviews you have made. With this additional context, the search engine can recommend the best restaurants for you specifically. In this scenario, the web becomes more intelligent as it understands the meaning of the data and can provide more tailored and relevant results. It goes beyond simply matching keywords and aims to understand the user's intent and preferences. It has broader implications beyond restaurant searches. It can enhance various areas such as e-commerce, healthcare, and research. For example, in the field of healthcare, the semantic web can help doctors and researchers find relevant medical information, analyze patient data more effectively, and even suggest personalized treatment options based on individual factors. So, in semantic web, instead of just keywords, internet would be more accurate and intelligent to provide you with insightful data, or in simpler terms, the data that you actually are looking for.
Cryptocurrencies are often mentioned in the context of Web 3.0. Can you explain how cryptocurrencies contribute to this?
Cryptocurrencies play a very vital role when it comes to Web 3.0. In my opinion, cryptocurrencies were the first technology or the first implementation of the Web 3.0 idea. How it works, the best example would be Bitcoin or Ethereum. These are the two cryptocurrencies that are in the market along with a lot more, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Bitcoin and any other cryptocurrency works on the concept of decentralization, security, and all the other stands that Web3 is for. For example, any transaction in a cryptocurrency is done through blockchain. It ensures that the transaction to the end of it is recorded in a secure way and it cannot be manipulated by any third party. Again, any cryptocurrency like Bitcoin ensures that there is nobody governing them or there is no big giant controlling them. In addition to that, they also are borderless. Suppose, for example, you live in a region where you cannot transfer funds due to some geographical constraints or anything as such.
Yes.
Cryptocurrency ensures that no matter where you are in the world, the transaction can be made. So it puts into implementation the core and the basic idea of Web 3.0 of how it should be safe, secure, and accessible to everyone, putting the users at the center of it.
Okay. It seems like many brands are showing interest in metaverse. So can you explain us what benefits are these brands having in moving towards metaverse?
So metaverse in itself is really exciting. And for the brands, they have a lot of value to get it, right? Suppose, for example, a lot of brands are trying to get into metaverse and launch their virtual stores where the users can go in and try their outfits in their own virtual avatar, right? It gives a sense of community. It gives you a wider reach. You can reach out to people in the entire world without being physically present anywhere. It gives the users the freedom to actually, wear the clothes in the virtual world and check it out how it looks on you and then go and buy it.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
You get a lot of user traction more than you could ever, get into the physical
Right.
world. Yeah, that's the reason a lot of brands are going into metaverse, because definitely online shopping, or be it any kind of shopping, to be very precise, would be the future. Metaverse is going to rule the e-commerce era in the coming years.
Okay. NFTs have been making waves lately, and it seems like people are finding ways to make money by creating their work online. So can you explain how it works and how people are able to earn from it?
Sure. So NFTs or non-fungible tokens are an exciting concept. They let you sell your artwork, or they let you create unique products, or I would say art pieces that could be sold and you could earn a lot from it. Let's delve deeper into it by a very basic example. Imagine you are an artist and you create a unique digital artwork like a painting or a digital collectible. Instead of selling physical copies or print of your artwork, you create a digital version of it and mint it as an NFT. When you mint an NFT, it's like creating a digital certificate of authenticity that verifies your artwork's uniqueness and ownership. This certificate is stored on a blockchain, which is a secure and transparent digital ledger. Now, once your artwork is minted as an NFT, you can put it up for sale on various NFT marketplaces. These marketplaces act as platforms where buyers can discover and purchase NFTs. When someone buys your NFT, they essentially own a unique digital token that represents ownership of your artwork. This ownership is recorded on the blockchain, ensuring that it is secure, verifiable, and cannot be duplicated. The interesting part is that as an artist, you can set certain conditions or royalties for your NFT. For example, you can specify that every time your NFT is sold or changes hands in the future, you receive a percentage of the sale price. This means that if your artwork becomes more valuable over time and is resold, you can earn royalties from those subsequent sales.
As we delve into the future of technology and the transition to Web 3.0, it's important to consider the role of AI. How does AI contribute to the evolution of Web 3.0?
So AI plays a very vital role when it comes to Web 3.0. AI would help us get personalized recommendations, analyze our data, and give us relevant results, be it search, be it applications. Our data is secure and in good ways would be analyzed to provide us tailored results that could help us out. Let's dwell a little deeper into it through an example. Let's take an example of a decentralized social media platform. AI algorithms can analyze a user's interest, previous interactions, and preferences to suggest relevant content that aligns with their specific interest. This means that instead of being bombarded with irrelevant posts, users see content that resonates with them, making their time on the platform more enjoyable and meaningful. AI plays a vital role in enhancing security in Web 3.0. It can help identify and mitigate potential threats, detect fraudulent activities, and monitor network behavior for suspicious patterns. As Web 3.0 evolves, AI's role will become even more prominent.
It's interesting to note that despite the numerous benefits of Web 3.0, it hasn't become a seamless part of our daily lives yet. So what are your thoughts on this?
Well, there are a few reasons for that. To start with, Web 3.0 is in the early stages of development. So the infrastructure required to scale on that level to create decentralized applications is something that is concerning as of now. We need a huge load of infrastructure to set up seamless contribution from a lot of people, right? Secondly, there is a learning curve associated with Web 3.0 because it introduces new concepts like blockchain, decentralized networks, cryptocurrencies, which might be unfamiliar to a lot of people. This lack of familiarity can create a barrier to enter and it can slow down the adoption process. Another challenge it faces is of interoperability. Although it seems fascinating at first, but it needs a lot of governance, it needs a lot of protocols, standards, and multiple things that needs to be put in place so that it is efficient as it is theoretically. So this is one of the biggest challenges Web 3.0 has as of now. Additionally, the most important challenge Web 3.0 faces as of now is governance challenges. Let's say, for example, cryptocurrency. It's so volatile, it needs some regulatory body to look into it, right? Although it should not be central, but there should be some sort of rules and regulation that are put in place so that it is not as volatile as it is now. Due to these regulatory and governance problems, it has not been widely accepted by a lot of nations. Although a lot of companies or big giants are accepting cryptocurrency as their main point of exchange in terms of transactions, but still a lot of efforts need to be put into it so that it is streamlined, it is governed, and it is safe.
Yeah, I know that is one of the major challenges faced by Web 3.0. And that wraps up our insightful discussion on Web 3.0, the future of Internet. We have explored the need of new version, the components that make it up, and its potential impact on various industries, and we have aimed to break down this complex concept into simpler terms to make it more accessible to our viewers. We hope this webinar has provided you with a better understanding of Web 3.0 and its implications. As technology continues to evolve, we encourage our viewers to stay curious, explore new developments, and actively participate in shaping the future of Internet. Before we conclude, I want to extend a sincere thank you to our guests for sharing their valuable insight and expertise of Web 3.0. Your perspective has truly enriched our discussion and provided our user with a deeper understanding of this transformative technology. Thank you for being a part of this session.
Thank you for having me. Web 3.0 is indeed very promising, and I'm excited to see how it unfolds.
And thank you our viewers for tuning in. We hope you find this discussion engaging and informative. Don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for more thought-provoking conversations on the fascinating world of technology. This is Daksha Chindarkar signing off. Until next time, keep embracing the possibilities of frontier. Goodbye everyone.